everyone. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tearing into a topic that's, well, honestly, kind of uncomfortable, but absolutely essential. We're talking about that gut-sinking realization when someone simply doesn't like you. Look, it's a tough pill to swallow for sure. But here's the thing. Navigating our social lives gets so much easier and way more efficient when we finally just stop trying to force connections that aren't meant to be. So we're going to decode the secret signs of dislike together, mainly focusing on those tricky verbal cues and avoidance strategies people use, and turn all those confusing social interactions into clear, actionable data.
So let's just get the big, heavy question out of the way right up front. Does everyone like you? The honest answer, nope. And honestly, that is perfectly okay. It's so common to have a bit of social anxiety around this, constantly wondering where we stand with people. But let's flip the script for a second. If literally everyone loved us, our real friendships wouldn't feel nearly as special, right? True love wouldn't be quite as amazing. We actually need that contrast, the rejection, the alienation, even the active dislike, to truly appreciate the people who genuinely value us. So it's time to stop playing detective in the dark and just look at the facts.
Let's put this in perspective. Think about your absolute best friend for a second. You probably feel like you could talk to them 24/7, right? And it doesn't even have to be some deep philosophical debate. You could literally talk about completely random, mundane stuff, like, I don't know, different types of cheese, or the structural integrity of bricks. And somehow it's just the best conversation ever. That baseline of effortless, fun connection, that perfectly sets up the contrast for how a secret disliker behaves.
Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. We're going to hit 4 main areas: spotting the verbal cues, the art of avoidance, hidden behavioral barriers, and finally, trusting your gut feeling. Let's get right into it.
Section 1, spotting the verbal cues. Remember how we just talked about chatting about bricks with a true friend? Well, with a secret disliker, it's basically like talking to a literal brick wall. There is a massive, stark contrast in engagement here. While friends make everything entertaining, someone who secretly dislikes you will actively and aggressively cut you short. If you ask them how their day is going, you're not getting a story. You're getting a blunt, curt, one-word response. Fine. Okay, it becomes crystal clear super fast that they have zero desire to keep the conversational ball bouncing. And honestly, it's not always just one-word answers. It's a whole coordinated strategy of verbal red flags. Notice the half-hearted listening? They might just scan your messages instead of actually reading them, totally zoning out and only giving you half the info you need. Why? Because they just aren't invested. Or maybe they're super dismissive, subtly ignoring your ideas to make you feel completely invisible. And then, oh man, the one-upping. Instead of supporting your thoughts, they completely hijack the conversation to maintain control. It's a textbook pattern of conversational sabotage. Now, you might be thinking, but wait, they're always polite to me. Well, beware of forced etiquette. Secret dislikers aren't always going to yell at you or say they despise you to your face. More often than not, they'll force a fake smile and just play along strictly to avoid messy conflict. They keep the surface looking squeaky clean. But deep down, they're holding on to a lot of negative thoughts, which inevitably leak out as super confusing, passive-aggressive behavior. Trust me, if the politeness feels hollow, it probably is. All right, moving right along to Section 2, the art of avoidance.
It is actually wild, the length some people will go to just to minimize contact. Look at this. Step 1. Even if you sit in the exact same room, they limit all communication to text or email. Step 2, and this takes real dedication, by the way, they will literally memorize your lunch schedule just so they can take their break in a completely different area. And Step 3, on the off chance you actually bump into them in the hallway, boom, they already have a preloaded rapid-fire excuse ready to escape. They're basically treating you like an obstacle on a racetrack. And that totally extends to social stuff too. Think about a hypothetical birthday party guest list. Friends made the cut, coworkers are there, family is there, and your probability of getting an invite sitting at a rock-solid 0%. Now, logically, why would you even want to go to a party thrown by someone who dislikes you? You wouldn't. But human nature, right? It still hurts a bit to see everyone else included. Use this data, though. When everyone around you is getting the invite and you're left out, it's an undeniable sign they want absolutely nothing to do with you.
Let's roll right into Section 3, hidden behavioral barriers. You know how when we genuinely like someone, our body language just naturally shows it. We make eye contact, we lean in, we mirror them. The invisible barrier is the exact opposite of that.
A secret disliker will actively avoid looking at you. They'll cross their arms super tight across their chest and physically lean away. And look, this isn't just them being rude. It's a really harsh, deeply ingrained human defense mechanism. They are literally, subconsciously, building a physical wall to keep you out of their space.
And you can see this play out in real time. Just watch how incredibly fast the mood shifts. Picture this. It's 9 a.m. This person is having a stellar day. Perfectly good mood, smiling with everyone. 9:05 a.m., you walk up to say hi. By 9:06 a.m., their entire demeanor just crashes. They suddenly turn sour, bitter, and angry. If daily frustrations and arguments seem to magically erupt the very second you walk into the room, that is a massive indicator of how they truly feel. They will do anything except make things easy for you.
So what does this actually look like for the relationship as a whole? It creates a massive imbalance. We all know vulnerability is the absolute key to making a real human connection. But look at this dynamic. You might be putting in high, constant effort to get to know them, but what do you get back? Their suspicion of your intentions stays incredibly high, even when you're just being nice, and their vulnerability stays stubbornly low. Sure, some people take a minute to open up, but if you're constantly hitting this brick wall, they are actively choosing to keep you at arm's length.
Which brings us to our final section, trusting your gut feeling. This is probably the most crucial part of all of this. You have to learn how to untangle your baseline social anxiety from your actual, genuine gut instinct. Anxiety is super sneaky. It can make even totally logical, sound judgments feel completely wrong or paranoid. But a true instinct, that's a deep, powerful message from your gut, totally free from that frantic anxiety, calmly telling you that something is just off. When you feel that clear, undeniable signal that a connection is forced, you really have to trust that it is simply not worth your time trying to change their mind. I think this quote perfectly sums the whole thing up, straight from our source material. Life is short. Cherish your moments with people who love you and leave the rest behind. Look, realizing someone dislikes you isn't some huge tragedy. Actually, it's a massive tool. It gives you permission to just move on. You don't have to win everyone over. You can take all that high effort we talked about and redirect it right back to the people who naturally match your energy and actually want you around. So I want to leave you with this final thought to chew on. Who are you going to stop wasting your time on today? Now that you have the data to decode those secret signs, from the passive-aggressive verbal cues to those crazy elaborate avoidance strategies, you have the power to optimize your own social circle.